Hey guys, I don't know if y'all guys know yet, but there's a lot of things happening between Steven Crowder and Carlos Maza at Fox. Basically, Carlos Maza put all these clips together from different segments of Steven's show over multiple videos to try to claim that he was anti-homophobic and harassing Carlos Maza, when in reality none of that stuff really happened. He did call him like queer and stuff, but that's how Carlos Maza actually refers to himself, and Steven was actually saying that he refers to himself as queer, and that was Carlos Maza referring himself as queer, and that's what Steven Crowder was using in reference to what Carlos Maza has been saying. He also mainly disputed his ideas, and that is what this is all about, really. It's all about Carlos Maza suppressing free speech and trying to shut down Steven's channel here, which, if you're a fan of Steven Crowder, you should definitely join Mug Club. I would definitely join Mug Club if I had the money. I don't have the money right now, unfortunately. I hope one day I do, but, I love Steven's work. His Change My Mind stuff is amazing. The rest of his show is also cool. Change My Mind is probably my favorite segments of all. But, Steven, I love Steven because Steven is one of the people that helped change my mind. And he's one of the people that kind of got through to me through his own comedy and his own way of doing things, right? Because if you listen to Steven for a long time, he is definitely someone that's probably a lot more than most people, and he always discusses about doing the right thing, and he always does apologize when he does something wrong or something like that. I've watched Steven long enough to see that he really is a good guy, and that if he does do something wrong, he will actually come out and apologize for it. But if you do him wrong, he would never apologize to you. And that's what I like about Steven. He's tough. He's somebody who's going to stand up for what he believes in no matter what it is. And you don't get that many days. It's kind of like Ben Shapiro, but not really. Like I guess he's on the same field as Ben Shapiro, but he does it differently than what Shapiro does, and that's what makes Steven even more fantastic, is because they're basically saying the same thing, Ben and Steven, but they're doing it in different ways, and that is what's most exciting about it, because I love both those guys. I love both Ben and Steven, and if I had the money, I'd also join Daily Wire too, because I really want that leftist tears mug. I'm probably going to get me a Ben Shapiro sort whenever I get paid, but yeah, anyways, Carlos Maza is nothing but a fascist. He's evil. He's using Nazi tactics to try to take down other creators because he simply doesn't like their voice. He doesn't like the fact that they're speaking out and disproving his own theories that he's posting on his own channel, because he's posting all these stuff about different things, and Steven Crowder comes in with all his debunking videos and just completely destroys him and destroys Vox, and they don't want that. They don't want the competition coming out and overriding Fox, because they're getting more views. Steven's channel is getting more views than Fox. He's getting more views than all these other left-leaning channels, but people keep going to right-wing content. And even though left-wing content is being pushed down more than it is right wing, they're still trying to censor as many as right wingers, and many people like Tim Pool and other people like that are getting caught in the middle, because now their way of life, how they get their money and stuff, is being threatened, because one dude basically got mad that another dude was basically making fun of him, and now everyone has to pay for it. And Fox doesn't care. They don't care. This is a dude who worked for Media Matters, which is a left-leaning company that sole purpose is to take down anyone who's right-wing, anyone who's famous right-wing. They've been trying to take down Tucker Carlson for a very long time. Rush Limbaugh, they're trying to take down all these people, and he even mentions in his own bio, right? Carlos Maza mentions in his own bio that Tucker Carlson is a white supremacist, and he also supported Antifa and all these other evil organizations and stuff like that. And, Carlos Maza is nothing but a bully. He uses his LGBTQ status to basically cover up for the evil acts he's doing. And he's actually out to hurt more LGBTQ creators than he's actually willing to help. And he's using the cover of YouTube doesn't support LGBTQ creators to try to advance his agenda, because now many people are jumping on that, and many people on his side are jumping on that, and it's not true. It is not true. I guarantee you what Carlos Maza is doing nothing but hoarding LGBTQ creators than it is helping. Carlos Maza is basically had come through the door, got famous, and now is willing to shut the door behind him, so no one else can come up like he did. And the same thing with Amy Schumer and dude, I can't even think of her name right now, but these are female comedians who basically shut the door right behind them, and so no other female could actually come up the same way they did. And it's it's really sad to see that, how many people are actually falling for this communist propaganda. Basically, well, we're the only voices that can be out, right? They try to censor anyone that they disagree with as hate speech. If you disagree with a socialist, they will come out and they say that's hate speech and it cannot be allowed, and they will basically try to set you up. That's all hate speech is. Hate speech is not, it doesn't even exist. It's just a way to censor free speech. They hate free speech, and they know it's dangerous because it's dangerous to their ideas. Because if you ever talk to a socialist, their ideas don't work. They don't work, and they know it. And you can easily disprove a socialist basically by just basically common sense. And they know this. They know that you can disprove them by just using just basic common sense. And so to set you up, they say that your words are hateful, or that you're racist, or that you're all these things that are not true, and people have been attacked who aren't these things. I mean, think about it. People like Candace Owens and Brennan Tatum have been called all white. They've been called racist. They've been called bootlickers. They've been called Uncle Toms. They've been called all these things by people on the left, by people who are white on the left, might I add you, and wearing Antifa clothes and all that kind of stuff, simply because they supported Donald Trump in this new election. Remember what happened to Kanye West. Kanye West was called mentally insane because he supported Donald Trump too. I mean, you can keep pushing the envelope. Blair White, a transsexual person, right? She was a male who became a female, and she gets blasted by people all the time, saying that she's a self-hater and all this kind of stuff, and she's against LGBT community people and all this kind of stuff. And like I said, none of it is true. None of what the left is saying is true. It's all lies. It's all propaganda to get you to essentially buy into the lie of socialism. And that's what a lot of it is. A lot of this is nothing but propaganda to try to make you believe that socialism will work this time around, that communism is really the way to go, and it's not. It never will be, and it will always fail, will always result in the deaths of millions of innocent people, and that's really where this is all heading. I mean, you think it's going to end with YouTube? No, it's not going to end with YouTube. Even if they can kick everyone off of YouTube, they're going to come after your other ways of making support. They're going to come after Mud Club. They're going to come after the Daily Wire as an entity by itself. They're going to come after they're going to come after Patreon. They've already done this. They came after Patreon, and they kicked many people off Patreon simply because of their religious beliefs. What was it? I think it was PayPal. Forgive me if I'm being mistaken, but it was PayPal who actually froze a bunch of people's accounts so they couldn't get their money off of it anymore, simply because people disagreed with them. I think it was actually MasterCard. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on which company actually did this, but they can freeze your money, they can do all this kind of stuff. They're trying everything they can to silence people, and it's getting serious. I mean, like I said, this is not going to end with YouTube. It's happening on Facebook less often. I mean, Facebook's more of the, I guess, conservative of Twitter and YouTube. Twitter's worst, right? YouTube's not as bad as Twitter, because Twitter is like just awful. I think Twitter's pretty much going to be done for. But you're basically kicking all these people off this platform, and you're creating an echo chamber for people to basically get riled up, and what's going to end up happening is it's going to lead to war. I mean, that's where we're headed right now. War in war, and I think we're more like in the precursor of it, but it's going to happen. At some point, the communists will try to pull the Republicans, and I guarantee you there's going to be a massive war happening, whether it happens in 2020 or it happens in 2024. Either way, when Donald Trump leaves office, bad things will happen. Kind of same thing, if Donald Trump does win, bad things will happen. Both ways, bad things will happen because, it's, I don't know how to explain this, but we're basically in a fractured country where people on the right are trying to stack as many right-wing people as possible inside the government. Well, the left is doing the same thing. And you're basically just building up arms at this point. And at some point, it's going to come to a boiling point. And we're going to basically, it'll be more basically start shooting at each other. I mean, we're already having street battles and mass bombings and stuff like that happening all over the place. We're having Antifa members attacking right-wingers. We're having right-wingers attacking Antifa members. It's back and forth thing right now. And one of the more interesting things that I saw happen in recent years was actually an Antifa march, which is supposed to be I guess, an parody of a KKK meeting at Stone Mountain, and they all had all these communist flags, walking around with guns and stuff. And one of the first things that I've noticed when I was really watching this so-called parody was how serious everyone was. Not only how serious it was, but how close it was to an actual KKK rally or an actual hate speech, or how close it was to Nazism. And the reason I say that is because all these people, all these Antifa members like to use the words, oh, they're Nazis and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is, we're not the ones running around trying to silence those who we disagree with. That is what the Nazis actually did. And you're the people who are doing that. You're walking around with guns, you're walking around with chains, you're walking around in masks, and you're trying to silence anyone who disagrees with you because you don't like the point of view of the world. And it's getting real scary out there. I mean, how long can this last? And you got to ask that. And again, like I said, this is not going to end with Steven Crowder and Carlos Maza. It's going to be extended to everywhere else. And we're already seeing mass censorship already. And we're going to continue, I guess, to see that as we move on to the future, because I don't think we're going to have this end anytime soon, unfortunately. Hopefully all these tech companies can actually see what's going on and be like, yeah, we got to put an end to this. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to see them lean a lot more to the left. And something Tim Pool once said is the reason why these companies lean left is because when you have a bunch of right-wingers who are mad at you, they're not going to come to your doorstep and smash windows and cause mass riots and all that kind of stuff. The left does that. And who are you going to listen to more? The people that are smashing up cars, or the people that are just peacefully protesting? And the answer to that is obviously the people smashing up cars, because you're afraid of them. And that is what true fascism is about. It's about putting fear into people so that they can essentially do what they want without any trouble. And like I said, the real situation was like that is looking back at the Berkeley situation, where Antifa showed up out of college and just basically started a riot because this one guy who claims to be a comedian showed up, and basically Antifa went into riot mode and the police let it happen, because people who are above the cops, a lot of the politicians are supporters of Antifa, and they let them get away with these things. I mean, you see it all the time. You can look up videos of Antifa just beating on people simply because they don't agree with them. I guess that's it, guys. Thank you for your time.